Namaste, my friend. I hope you are doing fine. How much we have changed since we started the journey of the Eastern wisdom, our behavior, our attitude, response to the people, living in a living a personal, professional, and social life. That knowledge, when it goes inside the head and it is realized, you are aware of it. Then what happens? The moment any unfavorable situation enters into your life, instantly that wisdom evokes a response of peace. It is favorable, peace; unfavorable, peace; situation negative, peace; situation positive, peace. That is our nature. And there is no question to make you believe it is possible. And it is possible only to the seeker. So, the more we become a seeker, that helps us to that helps us to live a life in peace and happiness. Now, to let me be very clear to you and maintain your awareness. What is that awareness? What is that simple awareness? Mind is confused. It has a duality. It has a conflict. It has an anxiety. It has a reaction. One type of thoughts and feelings. Second type of the thoughts and feeling: peace, happiness, love, wisdom, truth, relaxed, comfort, carefree. It is another set of feeling. Let me add the third type. I just said in the beginning that there are only two types. Third is neutral. You have a neutral feeling towards the home and the wall and the TV, and maybe in the beginning when we buy something new we get excited, but after a few days everything becomes neutral. You go to the kitchen, go to the shower and bedroom, and everything is we don't have a kind of reactive and responsive feeling towards the objects that are inert, that are non-living. Unless that non-living causes any trouble. You are sitting on a couch and the couch gives you some discomfort, then obviously in the first category. Clear? So we have three categories of thoughts, of feeling, of experiences. What do we want? We want the second category of the thoughts, feeling, and experiences in our life. Every situation should be favorable. Depends on whom? Me. Situation outside will remain the same. People who are not learning Eastern wisdom, they will always react. They will always try to create an unfavorable situation because they only know the way. That is the only way. Eastern wisdom says we have a different way. If one guy is angry, I should not. I should maintain my awareness. I should maintain the calm and peace. I should find out why that guy is angry and let me respond, not react. And that can only be possible by the Eastern wisdom. The more and more we start learning and knowledge is realized, the mind changes its behavior, its attitude, its response. So never be frustrated. So all the three types are basically the thoughts, feeling, and the images. And they all live in the mind. They all live in the mind. Now be very clear. If confusion, anxiety, reaction, duality, pressure on the mind is there, it is because of the thoughts. If I am aware, I can change the thought. One option. If I'm aware and I start contemplating and reflecting, my thought process changes. Any thought that starts and finished. Now I want to take a cup of tea and coffee. You go to the kitchen, prepare a cup of tea and or coffee, bring it to the living room and sit there, and you are taking. That thought has gone. So how to recognize that thought does not create any confusion? The thought is not being repetitive. We are preparing a cup of coffee in the kitchen, and the mind has gone to someone else that you met yesterday who reacted against you, and you have a sense of anxiety feeling while preparing a cup of tea. That is a thought of confusion. Can you recognize? First step. Then invoke the principles of Eastern wisdom. What is that simple principle? Here is the thought starting, here is the finishing point. It is finished. How it is finished? No one is responsible for my peace or the suffering. My mind is responsible. My mind in emotional bondage keeps my thoughts running after a person or an event or a situation. So you think in this way, and by thinking in that way, if the mind calms down, you are the higher level of a seeker. No, but if it is not, no issue. Then you have to do some active practice couple of times, couple of days, couple of times. We have a wonderful solution. And one of the solutions that I gave to you in the very beginning, remember it by heart. Let us do that practice. Why to wait? Close your eyes. So when the mind is not ready, when the mind is not ready to listen to the principles of Eastern wisdom, and you see that these thoughts are repeating and causing more and more confusion, to stop that, one, to move into the calmness and peace, two, and to again recognize that our journey of the Eastern wisdom to find the real self, which is of the nature of peace and happiness. Close your eyes and make your body comfortable. You see that when you make your body comfortable, when the mind is confused and it has a sense of anxiety and the reaction, the body continues to fizz it. It moves here and there. No worries at all. Check the mind, and through the mind, check the body, The body is comfortable. Yes, it is comfortable. Where it is not comfortable, look at the neck joint. Feel the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. You are feeling, you are not thinking. I am thinking for you, my friend. Look at the shoulder joint, sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Look at the hip joint, sensation, comfort, and steadiness. So we wait for a minute or so to make the body comfortable. Understand why. But first, why to understand it? So that whenever you have that situation and you move into the practice, check that the body is comfortable. If it is not comfortable, then move the mind again and again on the body. So when you repeat consciously on the joints of the body, you will see the body becomes comfortable. But why? That will prevent the mind to run after anyone that caused you so-called anxiety reaction. That is why. Are you missing that point, my friend? If you are, that is why. So once you feel the comfort in the body, and the position of the body is clear, and the body is steady, look at the breath and look inside the forehead and start breathing. Quick and short breath from both the nostrils into the chest. We are going to do 2 minutes. The mind will say no, and you do not listen to the mind. You're listening to me. With a disclaimer. Continue quick and short breath. You will find a different kind of experiences, the sensation in and around the head into the whole body, a sense of tingling. They are okay. For normal, healthy individuals, these sensations are okay because we are doing quick and short breath to change the pattern of the mind. Keep on doing it. I'm also doing with you, so keep on doing. Body remains steady, except expansion in the contraction of the chest. And stop it. We have done 2 minutes. Do nothing. Experience the changes in the sensation inside your head. A kind of blankness is there. Be very clear. You are becoming your own coach. Oh, how can I become my own coach? Yes, you're becoming. So now understand What is the understanding? When we do the quick and the fast breathing, it does not give a confused mind a chance to get more confused. That is why we feel a sense of blankness, because the mind is engaged in quick and fast breathing. But when we do the deep silent slow breathing, the mind still starts to repeat the same thoughts that results into the confusion. Let us try that. Start breathing deep, silent, and slow. Maybe into the chest and the belly both. You inhale into the belly, then into the chest. We are working, we are understanding. Keep on doing the deep, silent, and slow breathing. Remember the tag, the deep. You check, your mind checks that really it is deep, it is silent, and it is dead slow. When it is dead slow, breath rate per minute drops down. Hundreds of research studies and the science proves that when you bring your rate of breath per minute down, it relaxes all the nerves, it lifts your level of awareness, and it induces the state of calmness. How can the calm mind be confused? So we are doing it practically. You are becoming your own coach. Make these practices of today's session your deepest, innermost companion. Deep, silent, and slow. So, what we are doing, according to the Eastern wisdom, chale vate chalam chittam nishtale nishtalam bhavit. You change the breathing, the mind changes. You change the mind, the breathing changes. But what it means, in the first case, quick and short breathing, you change, your focus was to change the breathing, quick and short breathing. What happened? It has changed the mind. Now, here in deep silent and slow breathing, the mind and its attention on the tagline. What is the tagline? Deep. The mind has to know it is deep. Mind has to know it is silent. Mind has to know it is slow. So we are changing the mind to change the breath. So when you pay attention to the deep, silent, and slow, those thoughts which results into anxiety, duality, conflict, etc., they will not pass through your mind. Deep, silent, and slow. And you will find out that the moment your breath becomes faster, only due to the thoughts that enters into the mind. So in the very beginning, we understood there are three types of the thoughts. One type of the thoughts, second type of the thoughts, calmness, third is neutral. First is whenever you have those thoughts, you have to pick up this practice and you have to do it. You have to do it with understanding, my friend. So I told you what is the principle according to the Eastern wisdoms. So we can go a little deeper, leave that deep, silent, and slow breathing for a while. Understanding the knowledge is power. So we have done the there is another third type of the breathing in which during exhalation we make the humming sound. So, again, according to the Eastern wisdom, when we make the humming sound, mind that is confused, anxious, reactive, does not want to think positively, remains seated in the lowest center. Lowest center is of the survival, second center is the desire for happiness outside, and third center is the greed for peace and happiness from the other people. Why other people are not behaving like the way I behave? Until the mind moves to the fourth center, then only we become a seeker. So this practice, the coming step, is going to help you. What to do? Nothing difficult, my friend. Take a deep breath into the belly. Belly goes out, expands. Then continue breathing into the chest. Feel that you have inhaled into the collarbone. Lips remain together. Focus remains inside the forehead while breathing out. Through the nostrils, make the humming sound louder, deeper, and longer, as long as deep as you can do. Mm. You are doing it almost, if I use the word lazily. You take your time to inhale into the belly, and the belly expands completely. You feel a gentle pressure on the belly. Then you exhale, you inhale and expand the rib cage simultaneously, one after the other. And then you stay. You hold the breath even for 1, 2 seconds. You remember that you have to do the humming, and then you start the humming. Mm. My friend, continue doing the practice in the state of steadiness in the body. I'm reminding you, the body should remain in the state of steadiness. If the body continues to move, claiming discomfort, mind wants to go out. Why it wants to go out? Because it wants to create the same pattern of confusion, anxiety, reaction, duality, and a conflict. Oh, what it means? I have to hold on to the body? Yes. But at the same time, with a smile on the face, you keep on doing the humming sound. Mm. Mm. If you are inhaling deep, silent, and slow, and if you are humming as long as possible, even if your eyes are open, it will be closed naturally because the mind will be withdrawn inside. So you may say, how long I have to do the humming sound? You know the result? As many times When you start feeling the mind is now withdrawing, even you have the thoughts of those confusion, reaction, anxiety, but they have lost their power, their impact, replaced by the calmness and peace, because mind has withdrawn inside. And stop this humming sound. Let me educate you that when you are doing this humming, that every next humming becomes deeper and deeper, so much so that your breath rate drops down to 3 and 4 breaths in a minute. What it means? There is no way you cannot be in the state of calmness, peace, and joy if your breath rate is in between 3 to 4 while doing the humming sound. No way, scientifically, and also according to the Eastern wisdom. So remain in that state. So we will check it. We will have that experience. The moment you look at the head and the neck mentally and experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness, you will experience an upsurge of good feeling, tingling, as if freezing of the body, as if a state of bodilessness. You're there. Means what you have done the practice correctly. Move the mind on the right arm. Sensation, relaxation, and stillness. You will feel as if the mind touches every skin, the skin of that part of the body, and that arouses the sensation. That confusion, that conflict, that reaction is belong to the past. Move the mind on the left arm, be there, feel sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Move the mind on the rib cage, feel the sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Move the mind on the shoulder blades and the spine at the back. Sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Move the mind on the right leg. Be there, feel sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Move the mind on the left leg. Sensation, relaxation, and stillness. We discussed that in this stage of the practice, if we have done the previous steps correctly, what do you mean by correctly? By consciously. What do you mean by consciously? By understanding, based on the knowledge that we discussed together. What do you feel when you move the mind on the entire body? You may feel sensation, tingling, numbness, freezing. You may also experience a sense of bodilessness. Why bodilessness? Mind has withdrawn inside. In that state of, so now there is another challenge. So what happens because of the trillions of the impressions accumulated in the mind? The mind wants to return to its old habit and routine and behavior and attitude unconsciously, subconsciously, and habitually. So we want to check, can we remain in that state of calm, poise, a state of bodilessness? But how? The mind asks how. Keep looking at the breath. No change in the rate and the rhythm of the breath. Now you are not doing anything. You are just aware. You are just knowing the breath is going in and out. You're feeling the sensation of the breath and you do not change the rate and the rhythm of the breath. So, in that awareness of the breath, not focus on the breath, you discover now the body doesn't want to move. You are there. Why the body doesn't want to move? The mind has withdrawn inside. So when we do the practice regularly and we check how long we can stay in that state, tells us how far the journey we have covered in Eastern wisdom, because we are able to maintain that homogeneous awareness of calm in the peace without doing anything. And you have understood a lot of principles for so many weeks and months and years we have been together. So in that way, this may be an advanced practice. Those who do not know those previous principles that you have understood, it may be a challenge to them, but not for you. So once you are able to extend that period of steadiness, of calmness, of sense of bodilessness, what will happen? You have created, you have given a birth to a new mind. What do you mean? Just a metaphor. New mind means what? Anytime there is a confusion, the new mind says no. Anytime there is a sense of anxiety is going to take over, the new mind says no. I am in peace. Peace has come from within. Peace is my essential nature. Can that happen to you? Yes. When? Maybe I don't want to say when. You are responsible for your journey. No, I'm as a helper, as a coach. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. You're listening to the mantra. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. You see that we return in a very particular way, consciously, with awareness. We are not in a hurry. We do not rub our hands. We become aware of the right hand, become aware of the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. Eyes are open. Check that state. We have undertaken the journey, for example, from the confused mind, anxious mind, reactive mind, to the state of calmness, peace, joy, a sense of bodilessness. With understanding, with clarity. What is that? What do you mean by clarity? I give crazy examples. You want to grab a cup of coffee, you go to the kitchen, you don't go to the restroom. You don't go to the bedroom. What that metaphor tells you? Such a crazy metaphor, but it tells you. My mind is confused, let me do the practice. Don't listen to the mind. You do the practice with understanding. And then see what happens. Let me know. We'll continue our journey. So when the mind is confused, reactive, and it has experienced the anxiety just now. I'm not talking the second type, the mind that is calm, peace, relaxed, aware. I'm also not talking the third type, the mind that is neutral. It has neutral perception. My whole day passed peacefully. I'm neutral. I did. So the first type of the thoughts, which results into confusion, conflict, duality, that mind says that I'm not changing. I'm answering your question. You sent me, no, I'm not changing. How long? And when you are in peace, you say that you have changed. Are you understanding that? Are you getting into it? But why intellect thinks in this way? The intellect thinks in this way because the confused mind has taken over the intellect. It is governing the intellect at that moment of confusion. It confuses the intellect. So whatever the other thoughts that enters into your mind and being expressed that says, oh, how long it will take, I cannot change. I'm not changing. It makes your intellect also impulsive, reactive, frustrated. So the intellect that is dictated by the impulsive mind continues to repeat couple of times frustration, duality, and a conflict creates a guilt in the mind. I don't recognize. So it has created a guilt. It results into frustration and more anxiety, more conflict, according to the teachings of the Eastern West. Now, there are situations, there are times when the frequency, the intensity of stress and conflict is not very high, and you succeed in replacing the thoughts. Understanding, I believe understanding. It starts from the same three types of the thoughts. So you have a conflict and a confusion, and the mind starts thinking, the intellect starts thinking with the knowledge of the Eastern wisdom, and then your mind, you feel the mind has come down a bit. You keep on thinking. And at those moments, the passive practice works greatly because you already have a level of awareness that wants to move towards peace and calmness. Confused, conflicted mind does not want to move into the peace. It keeps on repeating its whole story. And second stage where you have experience before. So the mind retrieves that it's no, I was in peace. So what's the problem? Let me go. And at those times, the passive practice will help you greatly. What is that passive practice? Close your eyes. Now you're already relaxed. The mind is highly receptive because of the previous practice. But that state is also there without the practice, even when we have thoughts of the conflict. So in those moments, this passive practice should be done. The eyes are closed, body is comfortable, and you will find that the body is already comfortable. The body doesn't want to move. It wants to move into the practice. But still we do move the mind on the neck joint, be there, feel. I'm repeating the same instructions. Why? So that it goes into your head. You can become your own guide and coach. Move the mind on the neck joint, be there, feel sensation, comfort, and steadiness. The mind moves on the shoulder joints, be there. Feel sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Mind moves on the hip joint, be there. Your mind is there, body doesn't move. Sensation, comfort, and steadiness. The entire body. Sensation, comfort, and steadiness. In that state, you're looking inside the head because, in a confused state of the mind, it is difficult to become aware of the thought and separate the thoughts from us. But in the state, in the current state, we can just look at the thought, feeling in the images, they are coming and going. Like the traffic on the road you are standing across. That knowledge, that cognitive ability separates. We feel this. They are already separate, but why we have a confusion? Because we are emotionally attached. You see, the thoughts are coming and going. Let it come in. So you feel a sense of freedom from the world of people, events, things outside in the world. That state is a heightened state of awareness. We still want to confirm how. Let the mind move on the head and the neck, all around the head and the neck. Feel and experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Look inside the head, inside the body, all around. You will see that the mind does not want to jump outside. So you're not holding the body, but in fact, the body is naturally steady. Move the mind on the right arm from the right shoulder to the fingertips. Sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Move the mind on the left arm, be there. Feel the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Move the mind on the rib cage, be there. Sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Move the mind on the belly. Sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Move the mind on the right leg. Sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Or sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Left leg. Sensation, relaxation, and stillness. The entire body. Sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Move the mind on the body from the top of the head to the toes, slowly. As you move slowly, so you experience the sensation deepens. Maybe tingling, maybe numbness, maybe a sense of bodilessness, maybe lightness. These variety of experiences depends on how deeper the mind is, on which center the mind is. And experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. When we have a conscious experience of relaxation and stillness in the body, the mind is with, and we have to engage the mind on the breath. No change in the. You see that in this practice, we are not doing anything, any active step. And this practice can be done even with eyes open. So this week, you do this with eyes open for a couple of times and see what happens listening to these audios file that I'm going to send to you. At present, the eyes are closed or open depending on you. You look at the breath, no change, no focus. Casually, the breath is going in and counting. You drop the counting in one. The moment the breath comes out one, in two. Mentally, you say, you forget the counting, you restart it. Forget means what? The mind wants to dictate over you. You don't forget the counting, you are taking over the mind. I have discussed many a times, mind is working on me or I am working on the mind. Just go on counting. In the state of sensation, relaxation, and stillness, a reminder, here counting the breath. So you should extend the period of the counting. Maybe you have to check if you're counting 1 to 100 without making any mistake. Mistake means the mind has picked up any thought from the past impressions. So you return again and you start counting from 1 again. What happens then? Then you're gently educating the mind, training the mind, removing the habit of falling into anxiety, frustration, duality, and a conflict. Just do nothing. Stop the counting, do nothing. And find the space. Find the space deep inside. You may see there is a thought and then there is a space. So when there is a space, not many thoughts are struggling together. Means what? No confusion is there. So this is for obviously the higher level of a seek. And what is the highest for what is the practice for the highest level of a seeker? It is the non-practice. What do you mean by non-practice? We are, you know, in a way, we are doing something, but still we are not doing anything. No, what it means. Let your eyes remain closed. So think that as if You are in the highest level of a seeker, and something enters into your mind, a sense of confusion erupted due to the outer unfavorable situation and condition, and either you close your eyes or your eyes are open, doesn't make any difference. So, in the beginning, to make you understand, eyes are closed, you're looking inside the head in the space. You see the space, and then mind says Shantoham with the meaning. Shantoham with the meaning, I am the peace. Again, you wait. You see the space, and again you say Shantoham. You see the more and more space with every Shantoham. And that Shantoham also induces the infinite space that we can do with eyes open, with eyes closed, anytime. Remember, space, you are fully aware. Then is Shantoham, means I am the peace. So the mind picks up the peace from inside. Then you wait, you check the space is there, and again you drop the Shantoham. What will happen? Shantoham will merge into the infinite space, the confusion is gone. So called three practices, three states of the mind we learned, and how to deal with each state of the mind. The first, basically, the first, confused, frustrated, anxious, guilt mind. And that impact is not there. So we find the second state of the mind returns and then it goes back. So we have the second practice. Third practice, all the time, 24/7. What do you mean? I can do it. We can do it. You're remembering, self remembering. The Buddha says mindfulness is self remembering. What is that self? That self is made up of the peace and happiness. Why to remember? You're the highest level of a seeker. The third practice I told you, awareness, space, Shantoham, awareness, space, Shantoham. Why? I don't have any problem. No. Those accumulated impressions may return. You have to clean everything until we reach to the highest state. Even while listening to me, you're doing it. Third practice is that is why it is a non-practice. You can do anytime, anywhere. I can tell you. Anxiety is there. You see the space, Shantoham, it is gone. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you, my friend. This week you are committed to do this, all the practices.